Hi, I'm Chris Murphy. I'm the assistant principal at Woodlawn Middle School. And as you know, the field test of standards-based reporting is well underway. And as of this past week in early February, the Sbr Parent Portal has been updated to provide you with more information about how your students are performing. Here are a few steps that may help you navigate the Parent Portal website. When you log into the website, which you can see at the address bar at the top of your screen, be sure to use the username and password that was provided to you by the main office of either Twin Groves or Woodlawn Middle School. If you have any issues or trouble signing in, please contact those main offices.
Now that you've logged into the Parent Portal on PowerSchool, you'll see that the first page that you'll come to is the grades and attendance page. On this page, you'll see some attendance information for the past few weeks. So if your son or daughter was absent, you'll see that indicated here. On the left, you'll see the class periods throughout the day, 1, 2, 2. It looks like, but that's only because we can now separate PE and health. The health actually is pulled out of PE on a rotational basis, and we can report separately on those student progress. In the center, you see period 4 and 5_8. What that means is that your child is enrolled in Language Arts Honors 8 with Miss Constantine for 2 periods during periods 4 and 5. 5_8 just means it's 5th period for 8th grade students. Also on this page, you see all the teachers. Up top, you see T1 and T2. That indicates trimester 1 or trimester 2. Q1 and Q2, that's indicative of the quarterly classes, our encore sections like art and music, communications, and family and consumer sciences. Also some total cumulative absences and tardy information. If you look at trimester 1, the courses were reported out in a very traditional sense, but now within trimester 2, it appears that some sections don't have any final grades being tallied. That couldn't be much further from the truth. So what you would do from this page is wiggle your arrow right underneath that dash, and it will change to something that lets you click. So I'm going to click on that dash for Language Arts to find out what's going on here. Once I click on that, that takes me to an assignment scores page where I can get some course information or maybe a comment from the teacher. I can also see when the grades were most recently updated. This is part of the new update during this past week, and we're actually very, very excited about this update. We now can show you not only the due date or the name of the assignment, but the exact learning target that that particular assignment is aligned to. You will also see the exact grade that that child received on that target for that particular assignment. So for example, if I scroll down a little bit further, here's an assignment here that was due on December 7th, the Chaser Practice for Placement. There are 3 learning targets in which the teacher has aligned that one assignment to. In this case here, the student earned a 4.0, which exceeds our expectations on this target, a 3.0, which is what our expected mastery level is for all targets for all kids on this target, and a 4.0 for this particular target. The child received 3 grades for one assignment. If I scroll down further, you can see even more targets are aligned to some certain assignments. So it is assignment specific, but the teacher is being very explicit about which learning targets are aligned to those assignments. If I scroll back up, I'm going to click on the grades and attendance page to show you what a more traditional section might look like. If I take a look at Spanish 8 for trimester 2, Yogi Bear here is actually earning an 89% B in Spanish currently. I can click on that B89 to come to a similarly looking page. The assignment scores, due date, category, name of the assignment. But what looks different is I don't have the standard information. In a traditional sense, you'll receive the how many points is it worth and what did you get out of those total points. You'll also receive a percentage of score and a letter grade on each individual assignment. This is what you will see for the traditional sections, not the field testing sections. There's also a code that was indicated for these 2 scores. That orange box, if I look down towards the bottom of my page, tells me that those 2 assignments are missing. And missing in the middle school world means the teacher expects the child to make that up and to turn it back in. What's interesting about that is the 0 out of 12 and the 0 out of 20 are still being calculated in that final grade percentage. And that's actually pretty unfortunate because these 2 assignments here, the student got a 0 and a 0, but that doesn't tell us whether or not the student actually knows the information and is able to perform that skill. It only tells us that it's missing. We don't know if the child didn't do it or just didn't turn it in. However, we don't have the ability to report that separately. In the standards-based world, we can. If I was to click on the Standards Grades tab up top, I can see a bit more information about all the sections in which your student is enrolled in that are part of the field test group. At the very least, all students are enrolled in health and PE, which are part of the field test group, and all students are enrolled in language arts. So let's take a look at language arts. Ms. Constantine here has some information. T2 again, that's the only trimester that we have running as part of the field test. You may or may not see an F1 column here. It's just repeating the same information. There are quite a few learning targets that have been included so far to date, and you may see that this list grows on a day-to-day basis. It just depends on when the teacher is reporting on that particular learning target. More information may slowly increase, and this list would increase throughout the year. You can see the overall target score that's being calculated. So for this particular target, the first one listed, determine a theme or central idea of a text. The student is currently receiving an average score of a 3.5 for that particular target. This 3.5 is calculated by averaging the assignments that are aligned specifically to that learning target. No other assignments can impact this grade unless it is actually aligned to that particular learning target. In a similar fashion, the overall letter grade of an A is calculated by only averaging the overall target scores that you see here. Work habits down below are not included in the overall average score for that final grade. If I click on Reading Language Arts, I can see a little pop-up window that tells me exactly what the breakdown is for that average. The letter grades A, B, C, D, F are being calculated by PowerSchool by averaging just the content targets, and you'd get a range. If your score falls within that range, then you get that letter grade. This letter grade is something that changes on a day-to-day basis. Again, it can. It depends on whether or not the teacher is updating that grade or including a new assignment. Down below the work habits, there are 3 work habits: completion, participation, and following expectations. Those 3 work habits are the same 3 work habits that all field testers are reporting on. Those 3 are averaged to give you an overall work habit score. In this case here, the 3 is averaged to a 3.0. So again, on this page you can see similar information for all of the field testing courses in Mr. Levin's health class. Here are the targets. Here are the average scores for each of those targets. The student is receiving a letter grade of a B, and that's being calculated by averaging only the content targets that you see here. The student is still receiving an average of all the assignments aligned to the work habits.
Thank you so much for your time. Again, on behalf of the school board, Superintendent Schmidt, Standards-Based Reporting Committee, all district and building level administrators, staff, and especially those teachers that are part of the field testing process, we thank you for all of your patience and your understanding throughout this field testing process. District 96 believes that this level of target specificity truly benefits all kids. And if you have any questions regarding the process for standards-based reporting, please contact your building level principals. We're all listed there on this page. And for subject-specific questions, please contact your child's teachers directly. Thanks.